What's up, Ian here, and this is my full review of the Tinhifi T2 DLC. And if you guys are interested to watch the unboxing video and the first impression video, do check out the link above, but this is just the full review. Alright, so this is asking for $60 US, and do I think that is worth that $60 US? Let's find out. Okay, if you have heard the original T2, this is definitely tuned differently from that original T2. That original T2 is more of a reference listening type of tuning. It's more sterile, it's more neutral. This one is more natural and balanced tuning. So if you want something more balanced, in fact, if you ask me, this sounds pretty much like the T3 Plus. All right, if you remember the T3 Plus, it sounds similar to that. It's got a little bit different in the sound stage, but other than that, in terms of the tuning, is almost similar to the T3 Plus. Okay, so and also the T3 Plus is more expensive than this one. This one is just $60. I think the T3 Plus is $80 if I'm not wrong. But that one comes with more accessories lah. So yeah, they're about lah. Okay, so but if you want something of a balanced tuning and sounds good, then yeah, this is the one to go for, the T2 DLC. Now this has got a 10mm dynamic driver in this, and the accessories that it comes with, right? Honestly, I'm not a fan of this cable, right? This is not a very good cable, so it's quite thin lah, right? And it falls upon itself and tends to tangle, and yeah, not a very nice cable. Don't really like it. Ear tips are fine, and it fits my ear pretty well, as you can see. Okay, so doesn't give me any pain or any physical fatigue when I'm wearing. I can wear it the entire day, no problem. So it's a pretty comfortable fit, and the isolation is all right. It's not a very good isolation, but it's okay. It's not the best isolation. Okay, now let's talk about the sound and the technicalities of this first. Technicalities of this is pretty okay. It's pretty good, right? The soundstage is wide but to the sides, and you can hear layers to the sides. To the front, not so much, and not so much to the top as well, but more to the sides. And it's got this quite a big space in terms of the soundstage, and the layering and the imaging and the sound separation is pretty okay lah, right? I'm not giving it full marks, but it's reasonable for the price that it's asking for. Okay, now for the detail retrieval and resolution, I would say the T3 Plus, right? I find that T3 Plus is in fact a little bit less resolute than this one. So the T2 DLC actually has a better edge in terms of detail retrieval and the resolution. So if you guys already have the T3 Plus, this one may sound just a little bit more resolute than that one. Okay, now so I mean, that's for the technicalities lah. I think it's pretty good as a performer in terms of technicalities. Now the tone and timbre for this, as I mentioned, right, it's not a neutral tone and timbre as compared to the original T2s. Original T2s is more sterile, more dry to the bone type of tone and timbre. This one is a little bit warm. Okay, it's a little bit warm to natural type of tone and timbre, not so dry to that. I mean, the original T2s, what I feel is more for reference listening, more for monitoring. This one more for casual listening. It's a more balanced tuning as well lah. Okay, yeah, so as I mentioned, right, the tuning is more of a balanced tuning, just enough bass, just enough mids, and just enough treble. All right, so in terms of the sub bass it's got a good rumble, good extension of the rumble as well. So, and that rumble is warm. It's got a neutral and quite a heavy note weight, but it's not very heavy lah. It's just nice. It's somewhere in between. Okay, but the extension of the rumble is pretty good. It's got good texture, a good note weight to it lah. All right, it's not overly done. Now the mid bass is very punchy. It's got that oomph there. It's got good texture as well, At the same time, it's fast. So it's pretty fast bass. At the same time, it does not bleed into the mids. So I mean, it's a bit lah, you know, depending on the track. But it does not bleed into the mids, and it's a pretty good fast mid bass actually, if you ask me. More of a, and it's warm as well, so it's more of a fun and engaging type of mid bass and sub bass lah, for that matter. For the mids is a little bit recessed, but for a balanced tuning, I think the mids are quite well positioned. Instruments like the pianos and the keyboards and the violins, trumpets, saxophones, they sound pretty forward, pretty present in the mix, not overly done as well, and a good tone and good note weight as well. Very clear, and does not, you know, get impeded by the mid bass or the sub bass, you know, overwhelming the mids. So pretty good clear mids. Now for vocals, male vocals, they sound pretty natural, okay, very natural sounding. Not so much of the note weight, is pretty okay, pretty balanced type of note weight, and it's got good timbre, and male vocals sound quite present. Sorry about the fighter planes, I'm not in Donbass, don't worry, but go away! I gotta...
Don't worry, I didn't manage to get the crow.
Stupid crow. Okay, so where was I? Sorry for the interruption. I was being attacked by some fighter jets. I think it's F-16. Yeah, so in terms of the male vocals, I think it's pretty well presented and not overly done, okay? Now for female vocals, it's got some sparkle there, some brightness, good energy, and good presence in the mix. Very clear and very present. It's got good emotional engagement for myself. I feel that female vocals on these, they feel a bit laid back, but they also have a good engagement, pretty good natural sounding. Okay, so that's for female vocals. Treble, I feel that is a pretty safe treble. It's not the brightest, it's not the darkest, it's pretty okay. The gain and the sort of slide from the mids to the treble, I find that it's quite smooth, right? It's not a sharp gain or peanut gain to the treble. So I find that treble is not shouty, it's not sibilant, and it's not harsh, okay? So treble wise, it's quite a safe treble. Cymbal strikes and hi-hats, they've got a very natural sound, a very clear sound as well. And the extension of the treble is pretty natural as well. Not really extended, but it's a natural kind of extension. Right, so yeah, so who do I think this is for? Basically, right, I find that this is more of a balanced tuning. It's, again, a very casual type of listening experience lah. If you want something more sterile, something more referencing, something more clinical, then maybe you can go for the original T2. This is not the same as the original T2, this one is more for general pop songs, metal songs. In fact, if you want to listen to classical, you can actually listen to classical on this, orchestras. It's just it's not going to sound as correct, right? It's got that warmth to it, it's got that heavy note weight to it, so it's not going to sound as correct lah, right? But it's more of a casual listen to your classical music. So I would say this one is, you know, you can actually listen to almost all genre of this. It's not going to be a bass hit type of IEM, it's not going to be a treble hit type of IEM, it's not going to be audiophile clinical type of IEM. It's going to be just a, you know, jack of all trades, okay? Now, so as I mentioned, right, I think $60 is quite worth it. It's just that this cable here, I hope that they gave a better cable lah. Right, so that's my overall impression and review of this Tinhifi T2 DLC. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.